The big picture for me in my lab is that we try to understand how our DNA shapes who we are, and in particular how it affects our health. And so what we can do now is accurately and cost-effectively map nearly all of a person's DNA, the genetic letters, the sequence of information that makes up each of our genetic blueprints, our genome, and then try to pull information from that might be relevant to somebody's health and well-being. We work with families that have children that have significant unexplained developmental conditions, and we try to find a genetic cause, and in part that becomes a diagnostic piece for them. But then the bigger picture is that we're trying to find new things that the world doesn't know yet, essentially new information about DNA that can then not just diagnose a child that we sequence, say here in Huntsville, but then we discover new genes, new conditions, and we publish those, and now labs all across the world can diagnose those. And we can improve essentially the effectiveness of genetic testing, not just for the local families we touch, but then all the families all across the world that can now be diagnosed with a condition that we didn't know existed last year or 2 years ago, but now everybody can get diagnosed with that because of the knowledge we're finding. And so it's really exciting to not just impact the families around here, but then to sort of leverage that and expand that really all across the world. Since over the last close to 15 years now that we've been here at Hudson Alpha, we have worked with nearly 2,000 children. Their families are participants as well, especially parents, sometimes brothers and sisters. And so we've sequenced about 4,000 people in total, including all the adults that we've tested. And we've found diagnostic information, which is to say information about the child's DNA that is pretty clearly and obviously relevant to their health in about 30% of those kids, so around 600 or so children. But then there are hundreds more where we find something that is maybe interesting or maybe relevant to the child's health, but we just don't know. And that's what really drives the research, is we want to take that thing that is that uncertainty and convert it to something that we're more comfortable with, that we're certain is either is or is not relevant to the child's health. We're constantly going back because we know more about DNA today than we did, say we might have enrolled a family in 2015. We can now go back and look at their data, look at the sequence information we have and say, is there something that we didn't know about in 2015 that we know today? And we very often are able to find diagnoses that were unknown before. We're always thrilled to be able to make a diagnostic impact today for a family, but then also to go back and continually focus on all those unknowns, all those uncertainties, resolving as many of those as we can. So over time, we'll just continue to get better.